Hi there, welcome back to the ERS video training series. In this video, we'll cover the creation and editing of web pages. So let's start by familiarizing ourselves with the basic components of a web page. The area at the top with the links, the logo, and the Book Now button is known as the header, and it populates to every web page. The links on the header are known as the navigation bar. At the bottom of the page, the area in black with the white links and the red social media icon is known as the footer, and it also populates to every web page. The area in the middle of the page between the footer and the header is known as the body of the page. And not all web pages will have it, but web pages that have your categories, that section of the page is known as the store. So let's go ahead and edit our header, and we're going to do that at Admin, Website, Responsive Setup. So let's go down to the Header Options drop-down menu, and I think I'm going to try this one. Anytime we make an edit to our header, we can preview it down here. Now I like the way that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is. I was able to set the background image with the black and the rainbow lines on it by following these directions here. So if you'd like to add a navbar background to your header, you can do that as well. Now we can also preview what the store is going to look like on this page, and also the footer. I'm going to go ahead and upload a new store background image. Alright, and then we can go ahead and preview. You can also set a background video instead of an image if you like. And you can also apply tinting here. The tinting can be helpful if you have text directly on the picture. You can also change the style of the icons in your store, but I like the classic boxed images. And we can experiment with different styles of footer as well. I think I like the dark with links and social media. Alright, now I'd like to add my YouTube and Instagram pages to my header and footer. So I'm going to go ahead and go to General Config, System Settings. And I'm going to scroll almost all the way down to the bottom to Social Networking. And the instructions for what to enter in these fields is found here. Any of these fields you leave blank will not show up on your header. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save. And when we go back into Responsive Setup, we should see those icons there. Yep, there they are. Alright, so let's go ahead and edit some content on our home page. We can click here to add custom HTML and CSS code for individual pages, and we can click here to add it for every page. We'll cover the use of custom code further in our advanced web editing video. For now, I'm going to click on the pencil icon, and that's going to bring up an editable version of the page. So generally speaking, in the responsive editor, anytime you see a picture, you can click on it to edit the picture, and anytime you see text, you can click on it to edit the text. This right here is what we call a merge field. Merge fields are used throughout the system to pull data from your folder. For example, this merge field populates the company name to that area on the website. So we can look at our live website and see the company name in there. We'll talk more about merge fields in a subsequent tutorial. So let's go ahead and add a YouTube video to this page. To add a new style section to a page, I'm going to hover over the gear, and I'm going to click on Change Style to access the style section that I'm looking for. I think I'm going to go with this one. And then I'm just going to click and drag it into place. Now as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, maybe this would look better underneath the text. So I'm going to grab this little icon here and move it underneath here. Those little blue dotted lines tell me where the section's going to go. All right, that looks a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and click here to edit the YouTube video. And I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and go down here to Share. And I'm going to copy the link for this video. Then I'm going to go back into the responsive editor, and I'm going to highlight just the characters after the last slash and paste. And then I need to delete everything except for the characters after the last slash. And when I update, yep, there's my video. I'm going to go ahead and update this header text as well. And I'm going to go ahead and update. Great, so then I am going to go ahead and hover over the gear again and click Save. And when we come back to our home page, if we refresh the screen, we see the video now showing up on the page. Now I'm thinking I'd like that video to be a little bit bigger. The easiest way to do it is to go ahead and click on this little pencil, and whichever style section we have in place, it lets us choose a different version of that style section. So I like the side that it's on, but I'd like a larger video. So there we go. Okay, and once again, I'm going to go ahead and save. And then let's go ahead and refresh again. And there we go. And we can also do that with text sections if we'd like it left justified instead of centered, and with other kinds of style sections as well. Alright, now that our homepage looks the way we want it to, I'd like to go ahead and edit this navigation. Right now in our navigation bar, we've got our FAQs page underneath the Info drop-down menu. I'm thinking I'd like to give that FAQs page its own space in the navigation bar, and maybe add an About Us page. So I'm going to click back into Responsive Setup, and I'm going to go to Website Pages. I'm going to go ahead and click Add New, and I'm going to name this About Us. When choosing a page path for your new page, it's important that the path start with a slash, and any spaces between words have an underscore. We don't need a path alias in this case. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in classic mode for now. We'll change it to responsive in just a minute here. Don't need to worry about content here. We'll edit that in the responsive website editor. I am going to use a template, and I'm not going to bother updating the meta tags right now. We're going to use the default navigation type, so we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click Submit, and then I can go back into Responsive Setup and click here to make it a responsive page. And now that it's a responsive page, I'm going to go ahead and build it out the way I want it to look. Alright, now that our About Us page looks the way we want it to, I want to go ahead and put it in the navigation bar. So I'm going to go ahead and click into Website, Website Editor. Now anything that we see up here, if there is something underneath it, that means this page right here is a placeholder, meaning that it is going to function as the header for a drop-down menu. So it does need to be an actual web page, but it can go ahead and be a blank page because it's not actually going to render anything. The customer has to actually click on that heading and then choose something from the drop-down menu. And the entries that show up underneath that header are the actual choices for pages that people can go to. Now, as I said earlier, I'd like FAQs to have its own space and not be part of a drop-down menu. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this info from the navigation. I'm not deleting the page from existence, I'm just removing it from the navigation bar. And I'd like to add that About Us page between FAQs and Contact Us on the navigation bar as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go in between them and click on the plus sign. When I click on this drop-down menu, I can choose a page path out from here, and this field here will autofill. So I'm going to go ahead and save. And our menu is now updated. Now if we click on Rentals, we can see that this is a special heading. We can see there's no page path specified, but the special drop-down menu is chosen for categories. And what that means is that the system will auto-populate a drop-down menu of your categories at this place in the navigation bar. So let's go back into our live website and click on Refresh. And we can see that the About Us page now shows up in the navigation bar, and the FAQs page has its own space. Alright, now as we've discussed in a previous video, the ERS system auto-creates a page for each category and item as you enter it into the system. The system uses the name, picture, description, setup area, actual size, etc. to populate to the web page. So in this way, much of your website editing and building is actually done for you by the ERS system. But it is possible to edit category and item pages individually as well. So let's discuss how to do that. I'm here in Admin, Products, Items. I've clicked into the 22-foot giant slide, and I'm going to go ahead and navigate about 2/3 of the way down to the page to where it says Display to Customer, and I'm going to click on Edit Responsive Content. Now what this does is it opens up an editable version of the item page, just like in Responsive Setup for our regular web pages. So the interface is the same as our regular responsive editor. You hover over here to find the style section you're looking for. You add your style sections and make your edits until it looks like you want it to. And now, just like in the responsive editor, we need to go ahead and save our changes. And then we need to go to Website Pages. So we can see that when we clicked to edit the responsive content of the 22-foot giant slide item, the system automatically created a web page in here in this menu. So let's go ahead and click into the item, and then we're going to copy the name of the item that was created by the system. We're going to put a slash, we're going to say items, and then we're going to paste the rest of that, and a slash at the end. Then we are going to make it a responsive page, and we're going to submit. And then when we click on the page here, we should see our updates. Remember, anytime you have questions and you're working in the system, you can always click on Help and go to the knowledge base and do a keyword search. You can also always reach out to the tech support department at 505-435-9731, extension 102, or support@eventrentalsystems.com. Our next video will cover general images. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.